Oh, what's cracking, you people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Daxter. In the last one, we got a flamethrower, and we could up distillery. That's about it. In this one, we're gonna go catch some Z's, and I'm gonna show you how Ready at Dawn gets past works around not having Jack 2 and Jack 3's, or Jack and Daxter for that matters, open world. And the ability to travel between certain parts of Jack 2's world, and that's by doing this right here. Just having this shortcut, fast travel way to and from I guess the main urban area to the port. So we're done. Good. I don't even need to use this ramp for this one. Let's see. Before I do, did I ever? What do we have here? Those sneaky devils. But yeah, this is how they get around it. They just have this little fast travel conveyor belt thing. I mean, you gotta work what you got. I'm not expecting like freaking Grand Theft Auto quality on the PlayStation. Well, 5 specifically. I know they had like 2 Grand Theft Auto games on the PSP. So, anyway, what's the new one we got? Ah, yes. This one. Yep, Indiana Jones. Admittedly, by the way, I had to press circle there, not X. So yeah. This was a little bit easier than the last one, where I had to show you guys that I kind of punked out to get it done. Here we go. So basically, we're back to, oh, there's spiders in here too, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take an L on this one. That boulder's insta kill. So basically, we're kind of back to also, those boulders do take care of the enemies for you, so if you see it coming, just let it go ahead and take care of the enemy for you. Yeah, we're pretty much back to basics, rather than having the what's the word I'm looking for here? The Helm's Deep school of QTEs, because I'll admit the Helm's Deep one I am not the biggest fan of. I'm just not, because I feel like it just comes way too fast for what it is. Okay, so I missed one, so it's a glitch here. Okay, nope. Now I have to die because there's no way I'm getting the getting the reward.
It had to be snakes?
Oh, never mind. You don't have to get the max. You just gotta finish it. Where did I get it in my head that you had to get them? You had to get a perfect on there. Either way, our max health has increased, and of course, it did have to be snakes, Daxter. But there were 2 spiders in there, so you can't say it was completely snakes. But yeah, no. I guess I was wrong about that one. We're like, what, halfway through the playthrough, and I'm finally being proven wrong about that. Well, I would say still go for the purpose anyway. Just to get the secrets, because I know for a fact that you're going to need to do the perfects on those to get the secrets. Which, once again, I'm not doing for this playthrough because I don't know where all the secrets are, and as I said beforehand, I've only played through and beat this game once before even starting this playthrough. Because when I decided to do the Jack and Daxter trilogy, I knew I wanted to tackle Daxter in the midst of it because I thought it was an interesting game and I always wanted to play it as a kid. And yeah, I'm not disappointed in my choice. I still think it was worth it. But I will admit that maybe another 4 or 5 playthroughs would have been better to best know what I'm talking about. But there's only so much you can really go into depth with a platformer. And this is hence why I made it, a very casual run. I'm not going too crazy about it. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go to the cannery now. You know the nonsense that is this place. Oh, this place. I'm going to move here because obviously they would hide precursor orbs under the conveyor belt. Those clever guys. I'm going to jump up here and get on with it. Ah, the lurker sharks. My, how the tables have turned. Now we got collects 40 gems. Oh, you. I've been waiting for you. Burn. Yeah, that's right. I'm no longer scared of you. It's amazing what happens. It's amazing amount of balls one gets when they actually have the ability to murder their enemies at a distance. There we go. Underneath here. Now, admittedly, this particular level, I actually don't have much to say about because I don't remember it. Even though it was the most recent one on my previous playthrough that I did, because I remember I spent a long time on it, I don't actually have a lot to say about it. It's just, it's kind of, there's only one thing of note to say about it near the midpoint to the end of it, but that's about it, you know? Put it down here, so is there anything I need to worry about in here? Doesn't look like it. So we got one door to the right. And the good thing Daxter has fur, because I'm guarantee you anybody else would be cold as a mud in here, especially Terran. Man, I'm just saying. Okay, so the gimmick for this particular level is that you're going to use your flamethrower to, we're going to erect these things of ice, and then you're going to use your flamethrower to lower the ice down to a point where you can jump on it. You're also going to use it to move blocks of ice to remove obstacles. So just bear that in mind, and that's pretty much it. I give them props for at least making use of the flamethrower in more ways than just, hey, I have a long distance killing machine, murder machine. You know what I'm saying? Push a little bit further ahead, see what it gives me. Is there anything else I can get around here? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll probably be going down there eventually, so don't worry about getting those precursor orbs at the moment. Oh! And yes, I do usually keep the flamethrower out at my default. Oh no, wait, you can't go down there. Okay. Might as well. A new dream level is available in Cosmo Shop. Okay, we're unlocking these pretty fast, actually. Alright, let's move this around. This round. and go from there to there. At least we got the gems, so don't worry about having to get those gems. We got the gold again, so don't worry about having to pick those up. What was I getting at again? Right, yeah, there's not much to note for this level, and they do use the flamethrower in pretty interesting ways, so I give them props for that. Because it would have been very easy just to have it be just another upgrade for the sprayer, just to give you, give you more damage options. But no, they do integrate it in the puzzle. So I give Ready at Dawn props for that, because a lot of games so often not just give you a new utility weapon and then just have it be a weapon. You have to go for games like Half-Life in order for your weaponry to be applied in interesting ways. Come on. Huh. This one, I think, was an instant kill for these keys as well. Yes, no. Whoa, that's a big one. That is a big one. Must be a lurker whale or something like that. I would not want to be the guy who had to wrestle that thing down. Okay, so let's go ahead and put up the gas. You're dead. Yeah, no, they can't be anything. The cannery is a relatively forgetful level in my opinion. It's not the forgetful level. There is one level later in the game that is more forgetful than this. It's because of how painfully generic it is.
Hey, wait! You know Bug? You too furry for Metal Ugly. Hey, you be Bug Squisher? You work for Osmo? You guy I call!
Yeah, me Bug Squisher, you big lug. Now put me down.
Oh, so sorry, little orangey pal. Me Bruder. Me own fish cannery. But me nasty metal bugs eating all me fishy foods. Bruder lose business.
Well, that's what I'm here for. You can thank me now.
Ah, yes! Thanks I give for you help. But me main storage area is where most nasty bugs sneak. You protect that? You squish them all, orangey pal?
Yeah, I'll clean them out. Whew! As if the smell in this place wouldn't already do the trick.
And I take it back. It's not the end level, it's the midpoint level. Bruter! So here comes my nitpick of the game. I believe if you go in here, I believe this takes you somewhere else. Right, yeah, it is. Yeah, it takes you back to here. Okay, my bad. Bruiser is simultaneously my nitpick and my only interesting thing of note for Daxter. That takes you in a giant loop. And that's that he's randomly in the game. I don't know why he's in the game. I honestly don't. Because in Jak 2, because Bruder was a character in Jak 2. Also, before I get to that, this is a metalhead spawner. Think of it like the boss we fought in the transit system, where it'll spawn out metal bugs. This one you kind of want to let it do its thing for a little bit and then kill it, because that's how you max out your metal bugs, your your metal, your metal, your gems. Why was that so hard to say? Why was that so hard to say? I don't know why. But yeah, no, just let those things do their job, and then kill them, get the gems up. Once they start spawning, once they stop spawning enemies, then you should be good. But yeah, no, Bruter. I don't know why Bruter was even included in the game, because in Jak 2, while he had an interesting role in Jak 2, he was essentially the underground railroad for lurkers. And he worked with Crew, who does get name dropped in this game. I brushed over it earlier. He gets name dropped in the very first mission, actually, in the hotel. Also, be careful jumping over these things. If the fish are, if the sharks are anywhere underneath you when you try to traverse this, they will leap up and insta kill you. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Also, watch out for bits of water that look like ice that you can walk on, because they aren't. Anyway, but yeah, no, yeah, Bruter is in the game. I don't know why. This is his only appearance in the entire game, and instead of owning a bar in the bazaar, he owns the cannery in the harbor. Yeah, I'll admit, you know, Ready at Dawn, credit where credit's due. They do a very good job of characterizing certain characters and doing a lot more with the IPs that they're given to work on than is reasonably expected of them. But sometimes they make decisions that's like, if you're a hardcore fan, you're just like, why? Like, Bruter, I don't mind. He's not an annoying character, and I think it was just because of his accent. But why didn't they make a new character for this whole thing? Like, why? Like, for the most part, the only recurring characters in the story, or who make cameo appearances in the story, are Errol. Like, Crew gets name dropped, and that's about it. You don't really see him, but every other character in the game, for all intents and purposes, is new. But they brought Bruter back because it's a bit of a spoiler here, but I'm not gonna say exactly what it is. But it is a spoiler here. Well, not even a bit of a spoiler. If you paid attention to the opening segment of the game, you pretty much know this, but this game doesn't take place too long before Jak gets out of, gets broken out of prison. You kind of figure that from the title crawl of the almost 2 years later, because 2 years later, Jak gets free. Okay, any more? Which means that Bruter goes from owning a cannery, for the looks of things, a large-scale operation, to a small-scale bar that smuggles lurkers out, and we get no inclination that he's an entrepreneur. We get the idea that lurkers are essentially second-class citizens, maybe even third-class citizens in this world. And I think the revelation that lurkers are in the game comes after the big revelation in Jak 2. And yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, why did they bring this guy back? Surely there was a better use for this slot than just bringing back an old character who really has no business being here. But you know, that's a choice they made, and it was a nice cameo. It doesn't really break the story, but it does break the chronology if you think about it for more than 5 seconds. But you know, only people like me who pay attention to that kind of stuff would even bother noticing. At the same time, there we go. Get my health back. Need to get more hits now. Yeah. Down and avoid falling into the drink because I'm not going to that platform section again because screw that. It's annoying and tedious the first time, it's annoying and tedious the second time. But yes, if I could ask the developers like why they brought Kruger into this story, I would ask them. It'd be a really weird thing to say. But everything else I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind the additions to the world. I mean, because Ready at Dawn is arguable. An argument can be made that going on another random tangent here. An argument can be made that the recent God of War, the God of War 4, as the meme goes, Dad of Boy, which found a very interesting detail about that whole situation. It's arguable that a lot of the characterization that characterized Kratos in 3 and Ascension came from Ready at Dawn's run on the God of War series, the Ghost of Sparta and the Blades and the Chains of Olympus. No, wait, the Blades of Olympus. My bad. Is it Blades of Olympus or Chains of Olympus? I can't remember which one. But both of those added a lot of depth to the character of Kratos, and all they did was expand upon what was already hinted at there. In the Olympus game, you're tasked with saving Helios, the god whose head you rip off at the beginning of God of War 3, and he even references the events of Olympus, saying that, yeah, you know, I mean, you saved my life, so I want to help you out. So because you saved my life, I'm going to help you out. And he's lying through his teeth because he's a Greek god. What else did he do? I'm not trying to be insensitive towards one's religion, but if you look up every single story about Greek gods, you really don't want them getting involved in your life. Like, you want to live a long, happy life, do not get involved with Greek god. That's just how that works. But yeah, no, I mean, in that one, you know, it turns out that Hades' wife Persephone is bitter, and this is going off of the version of the myth where Persephone does not love her husband. Because there's a version of the myth where Persephone is very much in love with Hades, her uncle husband. Yeah, that was weird. And she didn't get kidnapped and sent to Hades, but she went there voluntarily and stays there voluntarily. So there's a version, and you know, that's just how Greek myths go. They have more than one version more than one telling for every version of the story. Anyway, but yeah, no, it turns out Persephone, this is based on the one where she is not happy with her arrangement to Hades. I think we're almost done here. Ooh, look, there's the giant lurker whale thing. And she is bitter and resentful that she's, you know, put in this situation, and she enlists the help of Atlas to break the pillar of the world, to bring Olympus crumbling to his knees and effectively kill the afterlife. And you know, Kratos has to stop it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But along the way, Kratos finds Calliope, his daughter, and he's willing to give up his redemption, his entire life, everything, just to be in the afterworld with his daughter. And Persephone lets him do it. Granted, it's a test because, of course, it's a freaking test. But it's like, it shows that Kratos, all he really wants is to be forgiven for accidentally murdering his entire family that one time. And he wants, basically, like his wife isn't there, I guess, because, you know, she's old enough that she's committed a lot of sins, which is to get the beat up in Elysium. But Kratos had to essentially give up being the Ghost of Sparta, give up his powers, give up all of that nonsense, just to get his daughter back. And that was the plan all along for Persephone, because realistically, if anyone's gonna stop her, it's gonna be Kratos. And this whole thing's a prequel to the events of the original God of War. Like, canonically speaking, the Chains of Olympus, Place of Olympus, whatever you want to call it, is the first game in the series chronologically. And it tells a wonderful story. And that's already at dawn. The Ghost of Sparta tells a story of how, you know, it's a story of it's an apocalyptic story, and it pretty much tells how Athena and Ares pretty much messed with his childhood significantly, and they brought back the concept of Kratos' brother, which was, if I ever get around to God of War, that's gonna be a whole thing in and of itself. I don't talk about that one. But basically what I'm trying to say is that a lot of this, I just noticed the sharks. I just noticed the sharks. Basically what I'm getting at is that a lot of the stuff that characterizes, well, that began to characterize Kratos in God of War 3 and pretty much defines him, or at least informs his character in 4, can be traced back to Ready at Dawn's run on their God of War series. And it shows with Daxter. Yes, Daxter is a comedic character. They are essentially working within the pre-established rules and confines of what the original IP creators decided for their IP. And it is now. It's really good. Now, shortcut. Eat me. And we're back. And I give Ready at Dawn credit because it is so tempting to essentially get your hands on a well-loved and well-known IP and completely betray everything that defines that IP for the sake of telling your own story and getting your name out there, so that way you have some notoriety to do what you want to do on your next endeavor. See Last Jedi, for example, on how to mess up a story. They'll mess up an entire series in just 2 hours. Or, you know, Halo 4 and 5. But Ready at Dawn, the only thing they really did was just add some locales that, if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you're just like, well, where were these? And, you know, and insert whichever jack you want to talk about. And they kind of address it in the world design and in some story elements. Like, if you pay attention to a couple of the elements of the story and the world design, you'll note that that a lot of this stuff looks like it's under construction or being moved around. So you can make the argument that it's either A, got moved somewhere else or got torn down, or B, it's in another part of the city. And the things that are in certain parts of the series that you're like, this definitely wasn't here before. Well, when the story wraps up, you can pretty much make your inference as it comes to its climax. You can make your inference as to why that's the case. Camera. Okay. No doubts about. We'll let this one go a little bit long today, just so we can get this particular level done. But yeah, no, I mean, and I believe Ready at Dawn has done some original work. I have never played them, and I might remedy that one day. Just for the sheer fact that it's very clearly a group of incredibly talented individuals, talented and passionate individuals working on these games. and you know, they take their job seriously. And it's kind of refreshing to see that, rather than just, you know, here you go, we're just doing essentially shovelware. Why even bother? No, this is really good shovelware. Unfortunately, I don't think it did well. I don't think Daxter did well, because the PSP didn't do well. Well, the PS Vita, which I'm just going to be clear here. I think that both the PSP and PS Vita on paper are technically solid game consoles. The problem is the kind of what's the word looking right here? The kind of games that are put on them are not Western friendly. Like the PSP and PS Vita sell like hotcakes in Japan. Make no mistake on that one. But they don't do well in Western markets because a lot of Western players aren't really into RPGs, and the PSP and Vita were, for the most part, RPG machines. Like, if you got a PSP or PS Vita, you more than likely... okay, I probably would have to go too long on that one. You're probably getting it for whatever RPG happens to be on the market at the time. This is just how it goes. The action games like God of War and Daxter, they just weren't seen as very popular. It's just how it is. They were more preferred in the Western market. I should put that out there. And considering, you know, Jack's whole identity crisis, which I talked about in Jack and Daxter, it's no surprise that Daxter didn't do too well. Sure, he's a little bit more cutesy, and I guarantee you his Japan exclusive box art probably reflects that. But overall, I doubt it was you can't carry a console on just one game. You know what I'm saying? Much as I love Halo, you know, if it wasn't for other Xbox exclusive games, like name a Star Wars game, because a lot of them were Xbox exclusive, Sudeki and a few other exclusives, I probably would not have made the Xbox my primary entertainment console for the last 20 some odd years. Oh dear, this one. Okay, so here's how this works. What you want to do is you want to get yourself set up, because this is a very deadly lurker shark. You got these little fish things running around, and what you want to do is you want to wait till they distract the fish and then make your way over. Man, once again, they space these things at intervals that are too far to be reasonable. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, there's an orb right there. Okay, so I'm gonna have to redo that whole setup thing. That's there. Man, once again, they space those gas orbs a little too far to be reasonable. Man, no, I just wish more companies, like, even though you're getting the even though the PSP PlayStation's handheld division doesn't do well, their consoles do fairly well. Like, I'm not even gonna take that away from them. They have very good exclusives. I'd hesitate to call them the best exclusives, just because the exclusives they do have, a lot of them didn't grab me. Like, I didn't gravitate towards Sly. I was okay with Ratchet and Clank, but it was really, as far as exclusives go, it was just Jack and Daxter and God of War. Because Final Fantasy, I hadn't even gotten into Final Fantasy at all when the PlayStation 2 came out. that has since changed. That has since changed. I do want to try to marathon Final Fantasy at some point. But one exclusive does not carry a game console. You need a diverse set of exclusives, and you need to be able to hit a diverse market. It's why the PSP does well in Japan, because they have a lot of RPGs, and Japanese players love their RPGs. Don't blame them. A lot of those RPGs are freaking amazing. It's also why Xbox doesn't do well. One of the reasons why Xbox doesn't do well. A lot of the main things with Xbox not doing well in Japan has to do with its design and an average Japanese home. If you look at the Xbox compared to and we're talking about the original Xbox here compared to the PlayStation 2. The Xbox was a very beefy console. Like, it was huge. Like, I have my original Xbox right here set next to a PS4. It is still huge in comparison. And Japanese homes are very compact. They want to make sure they make use of all the space. They don't want to have anything taking up too much space. And the Xbox just took up way too much space. Oh, look at all the orbs. Nice. All the gems. Not to mention the original Duke controller was just way too freaking huge for the average Japanese player's hands. This one, and that's pretty much why. Are we done? I don't think we're done yet. Look here. Oh no, we are done. This is the entrance. We got all the gems, killed all the bugs, and I believe we're just making our way back out. Yeah, no, if you're a budding game designer, you want to design your own console, keep in mind, and I think the Xbox, from what I've seen of the...
Looks like it's gonna be fast and furious, oh Sultan of Fuzz! Let's cruise!
I guess there's another mission for us, by Oswald's son, whose name is completely escaped me at the moment. I'll have to look it up. It really shouldn't escape me because I remember something strange. But yeah, if you're a budding game console designer, and I think the Series X is rectifying this mistake, because I remember seeing a report that the PlayStation 5, which traditionally does well in Japan, is not doing well right now. I think it's because of its more appeal towards a Western market. It's pretty big, all things considered. It stands vertically, yes, but it still takes up some space. And I think it has to be more heavily lean towards Western content. And the Series X looks like it's trying to be more compact and that kind of stuff. So just keep in mind, if you're going to make a console, especially as technology advances, we can make things smaller and smaller, try to make sure it's convenient. That's all games are, just convenience. Anyway, this has been my TED Talk. And otherwise known as my Let's Play of Daxter. You've been awesome. I've been Anansi. I'll catch you later.